Disclaimer, I do not dislike CinemaSins, and that is not a lie. For my next Everything Wrong with CinemaSins video, I'm going to be sitting their video on Megamind. Enjoy the video, everyone.
This 40-second long Epic DreamWorks logo is unnecessarily epic, and unnecessarily DreamWorks.
Jeremy complains about the logo's cliche.
Here's my day so far.
Narration.
Jeremy sins narration cliche.
My end starts at the beginning.
Starting with the climax cliche. Coincidentally, starting with the climax is the working title for my sex tape. Coming soon is the alternate title.
Jeremy makes an inappropriate comment cliche.
Here is your minion.
Even non-minion minions now make me cringe.
That is not a sin.
So they're just gonna keep the baby in the prison? I guess in this world, wherever a baby pops up is where he or she is forced to live. Child care is the equivalent of squatter rights in the Megamind universe.
Because Megamind's pod landed in the prison and one of the inmates said,
"Can we keep it?"
It was there that I once again ran into Mr. Goody Two-Shoes.
I know, right? It's almost as if the unlikely convenience of your continued childhood interaction is meant to serve as some sort of story plot.
well, stories have to work with convenient things.
Why do popcorn containers in movies act like popcorn fire hydrants waiting to spray across rooms like some sort of kernel-based confetti cannon?
Because that's what happens when you make popcorn. Have you never made it before?
No matter how hard I tried, I was always the odd man out, the last one picked.
Troubled child becomes even more troubled and evil due to being the last one picked for school sports cliche.
Things that happen in real life aren't cliches, my dude.
Was this my destiny?
Hold on, I would think inventing something like this at a young age would be a ton more impressive than being stronger than everyone else.
To me, Metro Boy having laser eyes and the ability to fly are more impressive than being stronger than everyone else.
Bad is the one thing I'm good at.
But has he been bad? Megamind didn't do anything to end up in prison. He just landed there and was raised by the inmates. And so far, he's just made a few harmless inventions and been picked on by kids at school. Sounds not too far off from a normal life in the suburbs, too.
Firstly, what Megamind means is that since being good and fitting in isn't working, he believes he's only good at being bad. Secondly, his inventions weren't harmless. They broke inmates out of jail, almost set his school on fire, broke a window, hit someone's head, and almost hit a girl.
I decided to pick something a little more humble.
Also, we now enter minute 6 of this bloated opening exposition. I swear if this Will Ferration goes on much longer, I may be the one who goes full supervillain.
Oh, you've already gone full supervillain, my dude.
This is an awfully big city for one of the headlines on the front page of the local paper to simply be shopping.
Pointing things out on the screen.
You're a villain, and you'll always be a villain. You'll never change, and you'll never leave.
You're fun.
Megamind would be diabolical at CinemaSins.
Seriously?
Also, I wonder if it was J.K. Simmons' voice work here as the law enforcement officer that got him the role, barely appearing as James Gordon in the DCEU movie.
J.K. Simmons has had other supporting roles in movies.
Right.
I'll always be a villain.
We can't play this song, but can't pass up those on-the-nose song choices. Were Bad Moon Rising or The Boys Are Back in Town not available?
Who cares if it didn't have a song you wanted?
Also, he gives the guards at least a few more seconds to take him down. Are they required by law to listen to a villain's pun before taking action?
Megamind didn't say a pun there. Do you not know what a pun is?
And I love you, random citizen.
And I'm going to show you this by splashing every single one of you with a ton of water like you were at a Shamu show down at SeaWorld.
You're literally showing that nobody's getting splashed.
Seriously, I know they came out the same year, but this and Despicable Me are the same f***ing movie. How did this even happen? 2 animated films based on the villain's viewpoint is very f***ing specific. It's not like these were just 2 movies about volcanoes or Steve Prefontaine.
First of all, Despicable Me and Megamind have different stories and are nothing alike. And secondly, here are some movies based on the villain's point of view that came out before Despicable Me. And for this whole sin, you're getting 15 sins.
Metro City appears to be a fairly large place, but how many abandoned observatories could there be?
The movie shows us that there are 2.
Copper drains my powers.
Your weakness is copper?
Aside from not being a funny joke, how has this not come up once in the whole time they've been battling each other? Even though this ends up being straight subterfuge, it should have been easy enough to prove false. Do they not have pennies in Metro?
2 things. Metro Man is not actually weak to copper, and even if he was, pennies only have 2.95 grams of it.
Drop him!
Wait, that worked? Megamind isn't holding any weapons. He's just walking toward the crowd.
It worked because the cops don't want Megamind to hurt them.
I'm sure we'd all like to know what you plan to do with us and this city.
I'm not sure I understand why anyone is even remotely concerned. No one seems afraid of Megamind. Roxanne wasn't even concerned after she realized Megamind had tricked Metro Man, and he wouldn't be saving her.
Oh really? Then what did these tell you about the police and Roxanne?
Melancholy.
The running joke of Megamind's inability to pronounce certain things is harshing my mellow, man. Melancholy and Metro City have 0 in common, other than they start with M and have the same number of syllables, if you make Metro City one word. But they sound different, and they have different inflections.
Those words starting with M isn't why he mispronounces them, as he also mispronounces school, popped, hello, and revenge.
I don't know, Hal. I don't really feel like being around a bunch of people.
No, that's the best part. It'll just be like you and me.
Nothing like including a bunch of sexual predator jokes in a kid's movie.
Says the man who makes cringy sexual jokes.
In other words, I have no purpose.
But Metro City isn't the only city, right? So there are other cities to conquer and other heroes to fight. Megamind could easily set up shop in Akron, or Chicago, or even Cleveland.
Nothing in this movie suggests that there are other heroes to fight.
I just found his secret hideout.
But he had taken up residence in the city's Capitol building, right? So he shouldn't be that hard to find.
But Roxanne isn't referring to the Capitol building.
Since we now know we're in Michigan, we also know that the station call letters are impossible. All broadcasters east of the Mississippi River are required to use a W at the beginning, like WMCP, or WJR, or WI Am I Still Watching This Discount Despicable Me?
175 cents for calling this movie a discount Despicable Me.
I am your father.
Is it a sin that Will Ferrell is doing Brando better than Brando in a shitty animated film? I think it is.
50 cents for calling this great movie shitty.
The back of this book is clearly from a book called The Happiest Me I Can Be, which doesn't show up until much later in the movie. It's almost like the movie didn't think I'd have a pause button on my remote.
Pointing things out on the screen.
I was always the last one picked for everything.
It's too bad that we didn't go to the same school.
Yeah, and then you could have made fun of him, along with everyone else.
Even though Roxanne initially dislikes Megamind, she never makes fun of him.
What's the T stand for?
Titan.
Titan or Titan? I know it seems like a silly question, but if you check the credits and this joke, it appears to be Titan. But this moment clearly says Titan. And the subtitles actually switch from one to the other about halfway through.
Titan was the one Megamind meant, and Titan was what Hal misinterpreted it as.
There's this really, really good looking one I've got my eye on currently.
Okay, fine. His superhero powers come with built-in zoom and enhance. But there is no way the city park is in a direct line of sight from Roxanne's apartment on the 20th floor of this high-rise.
Why not, though?
Let me make it clear. Code, I don't need you.
Glad movie has time for this pointless conflict.
It's not pointless. It's characterization for Megamind.
I have powers. I have a cape. I'm the good guy.
You are a good guy, Hal.
But is he, though? I'm not sure the movie has done anything up to this point but paint Shallow Hal as a borderline sociopathic stalker.
She shouldn't straight up say that to him, though.
If it's this easy for someone to touch the watch and ruin Megamind's disguise, why wouldn't he just put it somewhere else on his body, where it can't be as easily reached?
Because no one just straight up touches a watch.
You destroyed Metro Man. You took over the city.
Murdered Metro Man is what he actually did. Everyone seems to be tiptoeing over that, even though it's the f***ing inciting incident.
Both of those words mean the same thing.
Do you really think that I would ever be with you?
No.
And neither do I, which is why the end of this movie is going to feel so false when she eventually does ride the blue wave. That is where all this forced emotion is going, right?
It's not false because as the movie progresses, they start to care about each other.
This random billboard seems unnecessarily double entendred for a kid's movie. Takes me back to the good old days when animators would draw mermaid buildings that look like dicks.
Jeremy makes an inappropriate comment, cliche.
The driver of that gas truck is most certainly dead.
I think so too, but that's still not a sin.
Hey.
Oh good, a twist! I was hoping movie would throw another plot line into this already tangled mess of a story. The split with Minion, the romance with Roxy, Titan going full villain, and now this? I can't decide which one of these boring plot lines I'm least interested to see resolved.
Honestly, I think this movie has a really good story, and also, you never explain why you dislike movies that others like.
Using my super speed, I decided to go clear my head.
If Metro Man has this kind of super speed, doesn't that mean Titan does as well? If so, why didn't he use it in his fight with Megamind?
Titan probably does, but he just doesn't know it.
Metro Man was finally dead. And Music Man was born.
Oh, we've got trouble. Right here in Metro City, with a capital T, and that rhymes with P, and that stands for Put Me Out of My Misery Already.
Thousands have already fled the city in a mass exodus.
But Megamind had taken over the city before Titan. Did no one try to leave then?
When Megamind took over, he told the citizens to just continue living their normal lives.
Oh, and just so you don't get cold feet?
Roxanne.
And that was the day that Metro City was saved by the power of blue balls.
Jeremy makes another inappropriate comment.
Presentation!
Where did all these extra brain bots come from? Were they hanging out with all of Tony Stark's extra suits from Iron Man 3?
1. This part deserved a send-off. 2. Jeremy says something random, cliche.
It's possible that Megamind had turned over a new leaf for good, but why does Roxanne care? He's kidnapped her many times in the past and created a false identity so she would fall in love with him. This is the most serious case of Stockholm Syndrome I've ever seen represented in an animated film.
Megamind and Roxanne have started to care about each other, and Megamind is trying to save the city. That's why she cares. On top of that, Megamind took Bernard's appearance to get Roxanne out of the museum before it exploded, not make her fall in love with him.
So, you're the punk I've heard about.
Even animated superhero movies from 7 years ago just couldn't resist the sweet, sweet nectar of finishing the movie with a superhero battling essentially a different version of himself.
And if you were paying attention to the movie, you'd know that that's Megamind disguised as Metro Man.
Also, now that I think about it, when did he even copy Metro Man with the watch? Not like he had time to do anything between prison and trying to save Roxanne.
I mean, they've fought each other a lot in the past.
Pretty sneaky, sis.
That one's for all the youngsters who were just waiting for an early 80s Connect 4 commercial reference. Your patience has been rewarded.
That's not a sin, though.
The invisible car.
That's right, the entire climax turns on a character seeing the invisible car from a distance. No debris revealing it or anything like that, just an invisible object that is supposedly spottable from 100 feet away.
If you look closely, you'll see pebbles on top of the invisible car.
Hey, remember that night that I dumped you?
You're bringing this up now?
Well, I did look back, and you should look back.
You couldn't have said that any faster, Roxanne. Maybe just Megamind, turn around. Maybe save the sentimental crap for Pillow Talk later.
If she did that, Titan would have thwarted her plan.
So, this is how it ends.
I wish.
25 cents for wishing Megamind died.
Thing about bad guys, they always lose.
Tell that to Kaiser Soze.
Jeremy says something random, cliche.
Bad dancing.
This is you just saying what's happening in the movie.
Oh, this has been the worst day of my entire life.
Oh, no worries.
Post-credits, assault and battery.
See what I just said. Here's the end result, everybody. This in total was 659, and the sentence will be code not the same. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a nice day.